You may have asked yourself the question, what is imperialism? If you did not know the answer to that question, then today is your lucky day. Imperialism simply means the economic, political, and social domination of one country over another. When a wealthy, powerful country like 17th and 18th century Great Britain establishes a colony in India, for example, that's imperialism. In the 17 and 1800s, many Western European nations began to establish colonies in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. In the late 1800s, the United States also began to dabble in imperialist ambition. There were many reasons that wealthy countries wanted to be imperial powers and establish colonies in the poorer parts of the world, and they can be summed up with the three G's: gold, God, and glory. Gold refers to the economic motivations of imperialism. When seeking to establish a colony, many countries were after a source of raw materials. A raw material is something like coal, oil, gold, or lumber. Raw materials are used to fuel the industrial and market economies in the West. Wealthy countries also wanted to establish colonies in warmer climates in order to build plantations that could grow cash crops such as sugar, cotton, rubber, or pineapples. Another economic reason for establishing colonies was that the native populations of those colonies were potential markets where the industrial Western countries could sell goods. When, in 1899, the U.S. Secretary of State John Hay announced that the United States would pursue an open-door policy in China, it was because the United States wanted to make sure that European countries did not dominate the Chinese market for Western goods. God refers to the social motivations for establishing colonies. Some Westerners, meaning Europeans and Americans, were ethnocentric, which means that they believed Western European culture, politics, and religion were superior to other cultures. Ethnocentrists viewed African and Asian people as primitive, backwards, and in need of Western guidance. This thinly disguised racism gave rise to the phrase white man's burden, which refers to Westerners who felt it was the duty of white Christians to spread Christianity and uplift the so-called backwards people of Asia and Africa. The third G, glory, refers to the military motivations for imperialism. Wealthy European nations and the United States desired colonies throughout the Pacific so they could establish naval bases and coaling stations for merchant and naval vessels to refuel and resupply. One archipelago in the Pacific that the United States began to increasingly covet was Hawaii. American missionaries first visited the Hawaiian Islands in 1819. American settlers found that sugarcane grew very well in the wet tropical climate. By the mid-1800s, many American businessmen had established plantations on the islands. Hawaii was not part of the United States yet, and sugar from Hawaii was subject to tariffs from the United States. Congress agreed to lower the tariff on Hawaiian sugar in exchange for the exclusive right to build a naval base at Pearl Harbor. In 1887, prominent sugar planters pressured the Hawaiian king to accept a constitution that limited his authority. By 1890, American sugar growers had exerted much influence over Hawaii. They wanted Hawaii to become part of the United States so that they could avoid paying tariffs. In 1891, a new Hawaiian queen, Queen Liliuokalani, ascended the throne. Queen Liliuokalani disliked the growing American influence in Hawaii. In 1893, she tried to impose a new constitution, one that reasserted her authority. A group of American planters, with the support from United States Marines, overthrew the queen and set up a new provisional government. In 1898, Hawaii was officially annexed by the United States. Hawaii became the 50th state in 1859. Scratch that, 1959. In summary, imperialism is the political, social, and economic domination of one country over another. Imperialist countries like Great Britain, France, and then the United States were motivated by the three G's: gold, God, and glory. American missionaries and sugar planters settled in Hawaii in the 1800s. In 1893, Queen Liliuokalani of Hawaii was overthrown by American sugar planters, and Hawaii was officially annexed by the United States. That's it for now. The end.